Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Get the out of my room!
An out-of-control daughter.
I have slapped her when she gets verbally abusive.
What's your objective when you slap her?
To shut her up.
She's 14 years old
She has run away from home at least 11 times.
and has an 18-year-old boyfriend.
Why are you dating a 14-year-old child? That's a fourth-degree felony.
She came over and we did drink alcohol. That was so she would open up and explain to me why she was running away from that.
You're just a loser, Paul. You have no job. You have no life.
You want to get married.
I do want to get married.
Where are you going to live? In the car?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Tell you, I've seen some out-of-control teen tantrums over the last 16 years on this show, and this one is right up there at the top. Take a look.
Get the out of my room! I'm not talking to nobody. They need to get the out of my room!
Well, that was just a glimpse. That was 14-year-old Michelle having a meltdown. Her parents, Jody and Mike, say their once well-behaved honor roll student has flipped a switch and is now doing drugs, drinking alcohol, and dating older men. Jody says Michelle has become a habitual runaway in the past 9 months.
My 14-year-old daughter, Michelle, is a pathological liar,
A master manipulator.
defiant,
Mean.
Get out!
and she's throwing her life away. My daughter used to be a sweet young lady,
I love you all so much. Bye.
but then she turned mouthy.
Before I punch somebody in the face!
Michelle is definitely drinking, doing drugs, and lies about her whereabouts.
There's fights every day.
I don't need your stupid ass Wi-Fi!
She just goes into a tantrum. She's verbally abusive.
Stop recording me, bro! I'm about to hit you with this phone. You better shut it off.
She has called me a slut, and a piece of. Every time I tell my daughter she can't date, she runs away. She has run away 10 times in the last 9 months. My daughter was 13 the first time she didn't come home all night without calling. We discovered that she was dating an 18-year-old boy.
Police said it was a fine line on whether you could press charges or not. I thought that was a load of. We banned Michelle from seeing him. We had to change the alarm code so Michelle could not open the doors in the middle of the night and sneak out. But Michelle continued to run away.
One time, she ran away and the police were here filling out their report. When she came home, she got upset, screaming, "Can't you just shoot me? Just shoot me." We ended up taking her to the hospital where she was admitted for 5 days.
I was standing right there watching it all unfold in front of me.
I'm at my wit's end.
Our fear she's either going to end up on heroin, pregnant, or dead.
On June 17th, 2017, Michelle ran away from home for 5 days. The story even made local news. With no clues to her whereabouts, her parents, well, they assumed the worst. Thankfully, 14-year-old Michelle was found at her 18-year-old boyfriend, Paul's house. Now, since they began dating this June, Jody has accused Paul of harboring her daughter whenever she runs away. Jody says she has banned Michelle from dating Paul. Take a look.
We thought that Michelle was done with dating these older boys and that our life would get back to normal.
Boy, were we wrong. Michelle ran away and she was gone for 5 days.
911, where is your emergency?
My daughter left yesterday afternoon in a huff.
Police released it to the news.
Deputies are trying to find a missing teenager. She's 14 years old. Police say she was last seen Saturday night getting into a car driven by a male friend.
A random tip led police to an apartment. They found Michelle and Paul. That was the first time I ever heard about Paul. We had no idea that she was seeing an 18-year-old.
That really pissed me off.
Police sent Michelle to a rescue center. When we arrived, she was pissed. When we confronted Paul, he told us he didn't know that she was 14.
That was a load of crap.
I called Paul a rapist and told him to stay away from my daughter.
Paul is definitely an older guy just preying on my poor little daughter.
Paul told us that he was in love with her. He wanted to marry her over my dead body. Paul is a loser.
He's mean.
He doesn't have a job.
He's lazy.
I don't trust him. 2 weeks ago, she was gone 3 days. I asked him if he knew where she was. He told me that he did not. This 18-year-old boy was harboring my daughter this whole time.
Our hope is that Michelle will see what a useless piece of Paul is, and she'll dump him.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
How are you?
Why are you in this situation that you got a 14-year-old terrorizing your home?
I think because we started spoiling her when she was young. We gave her everything that she wanted.
Right.
You know, trying to give her a good childhood, and she uses it against us.
Also, we left her unsupervised. You know, we'd let her go over a friend's house, and we would just leave her there for days on end with little or no check-in.
Okay.
You know,
I often hear people say that, my child was just wonderful until somebody just flipped a switch, and one day she was wonderful, the next day she was a terror. I've never seen that happen in 45 years of being in the mental health profession. I have never seen a child go to bed an angel and wake up a demon.
right.
When I've heard it ad nauseum,
Right.
but when I go back and look, I find out that it actually ramped up across time. Now, y'all say it just went like that, but it really didn't, did it?
No,
it didn't.
no.
No.
She admitted to us that she started smoking pot when she was 10. And I'm thinking
10.
that 10. And so we didn't find out until she was in rescue the extent of her drug use.
The extent of it.
Right.
Did you know it? When she was 10, did you know she had smoked dope?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay, how did you not know?
Apparently, she must have hidden it very well.
Okay, but
I mean,
isn't it your
honestly-
job to know? If you have a 10-year-old smoking dope, is it your job to know?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so you didn't do your job in knowing she was smoking dope at 10.
Right.
Apparently.
Okay, was she altered by that? Did you know? Looking back, hindsight's 20/20.
Right, right.
It's easy for me to say
Right.
now. And listen, I'm not here to throw y'all under the bus, although I think you would fit nicely.
Right.
I'm here to help you fix this. Okay. So it doesn't do any good to throw y'all under the bus. We need to come up with a solution, right?
Right. Absolutely.
So I'm looking at this from here forward. And I only want to talk about the past to the extent that it informs what we do from here on. But what else? Because for a 10-year-old to tell themselves it's okay to do this, they've got to be in a mindset that's pretty much, screw you, I'll do what I want at 10. That's pretty outrageous behavior, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I think she was getting that from these older boys and people she's been hanging around with. Because, like you said, when she was smoking the pot at 10, we didn't notice it. I think we didn't really notice it because her grades were good, and we didn't notice it till it started to escalate, where her grades were suffering, and she was, flunking
Okay,
out of
was she
school.
hanging around with bad folks at 10?
No,
We didn't think
in
they
our
were
opinion,
bad
no.
folks.
Okay, where did she get the dope at 10?
I don't know.
Were there other behaviors that, in looking back, they were not good
Well, she was getting more defiant with us, getting
At
more
10.
mouthy. Yeah.
at 10?
And, but I mean, her grades didn't suffer. She was still, coming home on time, still doing the things that she was supposed to do, being in choir.
Well, coming home at time, didn't you take her and pick her up everywhere she went?
Most times. But I mean, we do have friends, or she did have friends around the house that, if you
But-
say be home at 6 o'clock, she
Right,
was
but
home
at
at 6
10,
o'clock.
you pick a kid up, take him, put him down somewhere, and you pick him back up and bring him back. So the fact that she was coming and going on time,
Yes,
you
totally
were the transporter, or another adult was, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you say that she has run away from home at least 11 times in the past 9 months?
Yes.
Okay, including last weekend.
That's the 11th time.
That was the 11th time. Okay, and what do you do when she runs away?
We have to, by law, call the police,
Right.
file a police report,
Okay.
and then we proceed to start looking to see if we can find her.
Okay. And when you find her, then what happens?
We ground her. We do. You put out a punishment, and she'll go through the punishment, and as soon as she has a chance, she's off again.
How old was she in December?
13.
So in December, you found out she was dating an 18-year-old man.
Yes.
That's a fourth-degree felony. And later, you said she hit you, fist or open hand? Or...
Like open hand, sometimes it's fist.
I have never hit you with a closed fist.
Do you slap her?
I have slapped her.
What's your objective when you slap her?
To shut her up.
In December, you found out that, how old was she in December?
13.
13. So in December, you found out she was dating an 18-year-old man.
Yes.
Okay, 13, 18. That's a fourth-degree felony.
Yes.
What'd you do about that?
We wanted to file charges, but the sergeant that was working on it, his attitude was if she was 6 months younger or 6 months older and he was 6 months younger, they'd be in the same peer group. He felt like he was not going to do anything, so I called the prosecutor's office. We went down and interviewed with the prosecutor. She said the next step was she was going to call this boy in to talk to him, and I haven't heard anything since.
You're still waiting for the phone to ring?
Still waiting.
Do you have their number?
Yeah. I just feel like Dr. Phil...
Did you call back?
No, I did not.
So your daughter's the victim of statutory rape, and you don't call to follow up?
When they say there's nothing that they're not willing to pursue it, there's not much else we can do.
No. She said, I'm going to call the boy and talk to him. But did you never heard anything?
No.
Right.
Well, the law is pretty clear on it, right? I mean, this is a math equation. It's not a matter of opinion. The law is pretty clear. It says, no person who is 18 years of age or older shall engage in sexual contact with another who is not the spouse of the offender when the offender knows the other person is 13 years of age or older but less than 16 years of age, or the offender is reckless in that regard. Whoever violates this section is guilty of unlawful sexual contact with a minor. Unlawful sexual conduct with a minor is a felony of the fourth degree. So it's felony conviction, and they can go on the sex registry.
That's what we were hoping for. They said that they couldn't get him on statutory rape because of that peer group issue. They were going to get him with unlawful conduct with a minor.
Or contact.
And we've got nothing. The only thing that we got was a no contact order so that they can't have contact.
But that's not the 18-year-old she's dating now.
No, this was the first one.
You know, that was the love of her life.
Right.
That lasted weeks.
Yeah. About the same amount of time as this one.
2 months.
And now she's dating
the new love of her life,
who is also falls under the statutory rape guidelines. So this is felony as well. Okay, well, have you turned this one in?
The police know of it. They went over to his house because Michelle was there. I did not pursue this one because she had run away so many times that I thought if I worked with this, if I allowed him to come to our house maybe once a week to see her under supervision with us, that she wouldn't run away again. And that lasted all of 2 weeks before I found out they were seeing each other behind my back. And we're here now.
So that didn't work for you?
No.
I said I'm not here to throw these parents under the bus, and I mean that sincerely. No parent wants their child to misbehave or become defiant and rebellious and behave in a self-destructive manner. Sometimes we get so close to these things that we don't see sometimes how we're setting ourselves up for failure, and sometimes we start to parent out of fear because we're afraid if we do lock down that we're going to push them further away, or they're going to do something that is so radical that it could result in harm. So it's real easy when you sit on the sidelines and look. It's not so easy when you're in the trenches right there. Get that I get that. That's why you're here. You need somebody that's removed from it that can, see it from 1,000 feet high. You want that objectivity, right?
Yes.
Because if I was down there in the muck with you, then I wouldn't have any better view of it than you do. So if I'm being critical, it's hopefully you take it as constructive, because you do need to do something different, right?
Oh, definitely.
Because what you're doing is
Yes.
not even almost
Right.
working.
Right.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Okay, but we're going to change that today,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, got you. Okay, Jody says her 14-year-old daughter Michelle is running away, using drugs and alcohol, and dating an 18-year-old named Paul. Now, Michelle says she is in love with Paul, and her parents just need to accept it. So let's hear from Michelle after the break.
When I was 13, I started dating a boy that was 18. I liked him because he was nice to me. On June 17th, I ran away for 5 days. I was with Paul for all 5 days. My most recent runaway was 2 weeks ago. I ran away because my parents won't really let me see Paul.
And later, why are you dating a 14-year-old child? It's a 4th-degree felony.
We did drink alcohol. That was so she would open up and explain to me why she was running away from them.
You're just a loser.
I do want to get married with her.
Stop shaking your head. It's so
Where
ignorant.
are you going to live? In the car?
It's so ignorant.
Michelle is the most disrespectful 14-year-old I have ever seen.
Get the out of my room!
Once she even called me
One time, she told me that she was going to see Paul no matter what, and she told me I was a piece.
I had to separate the two physically.
Mike grabbed her by the shirt and dragged her out of my bedroom.
Michelle will call her bitch, word, any name she could think of while she was throwing a tantrum.
Well, Jody and Mike say 14-year-old Michelle is verbally abusive, a chronic runaway, and is dating older men. Now, Michelle says her parents need to treat her like an adult and stop being so rude to her 18-year-old boyfriend, Paul. Well, let's take a look at Michelle's point of view.
I've told both my parents off.
If you want to bitch at me, we can take you to the library. So that way you can shut
I'm not bitching at you.
I smoked pot for the first time when I was 11. I started drinking when I was 13. I have snorted Xanax 5 or 6 times. When I was 13, I started dating a boy that was 18. I liked him because he was nice to me. On June 17th, I ran away for 5 days. My dad wouldn't give me money for the fare, so I had called Paul and he came to pick me up. I was with Paul for all 5 days. He's 18. I didn't tell Paul my age. When he found out that I was 14, he just kind of shrugged it off. My most recent runaway was 2 weeks ago. My dad was being a complete I told him to off and I went with Paul. I stayed at his house. I ran away because my parents won't really let me see Paul. I'm definitely in love with my boyfriend Paul. He's the sweetest, he's kind, and he supports me so much. He does say he's in love with me, and I do take his word for it. Even when we argue, we always just bounce right back. I love him to death. I do want to marry Paul someday.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Have you been watching the show so far?
They took me back to a room to watch a little bit of it.
Okay. Well, I've been talking to your parents, so if your ears have been burning, we've been talking about you some. And they tell me that you kind of do what you want to do when you want to do it, and don't pay much attention to what they want you to do. Would that be an accurate description?
That's pretty accurate.
Okay. And you say that you want them to treat you like an adult.
Yeah, I think they treat me like a child, and it's getting really old, honestly.
Yeah. Well, it can't be too old. You're only 14.
Well, it is old. It's old.
I mean, I've got T-shirts older than you, so it can't be getting too terribly old. What is it that they are asking you to do that you don't want to do?
That's I haven't really thought about that. Well,
like not run away?
Running away, doing drugs.
No, wait.
I don't do
Wait,
drugs
hold on.
anymore.
Unless she's a
You
ventriloquist.
told everybody I was like 10 smoking dope. Like, that's not the truth.
What
That's
is the
what
truth?
you told me.
No, that's
Yes, it is.
No, I told you I started smoking cigarettes when I
No,
was
you
10.
told me that you started smoking pot
No.
4 years ago.
No,
Yes.
No.
Yes, you did.
no, I didn't. No. And sit here and argue with me though, like that's cool.
When did you start smoking dope?
When I was about 12.
So that's acceptable, right?
Okay, well that's better than 10. So
Not really.
Bye.
Okay. Tell me, one of the things that they would want you to do is stop running away, and it's real easy to not do something, I suppose.
Right.
Why do you run away?
Because they treat me like all the time. It's like
Okay, well,
24/7.
first off, I don't know how big your vocabulary is, but surely you have a word you can use other than profanity, since I've got the FCC
Okay, they
breathing
treat me
down my
like
neck.
crap.
Well, that's somewhat better, but not.
That's better than that.
Okay, why do you run away? What define that for me? What do you consider being mistreated?
I think like the biggest thing is that like my mom has choked me, and that's one of the biggest things. That's one of the reasons why I've run away before, because she likes to hit me and stuff like that, and yeah, it's not acceptable when half the time I don't do anything wrong and you just overreact.
Okay, so you'll just be like sitting in the
No, it's
den
not, like, out of the
watching
blue.
TV, and she'll just come in there and just.
No, like
Fall on you and choke
we'll
you.
get into like an argument, but it's not like anything like serious, like a serious argument, like huge, like screaming or nothing. But she'll take it like out of hand, type stuff.
She overreacts,
Yeah,
gets overanimated, and chokes you.
right.
Okay, does she choke you like? Do you lose consciousness?
No, it's just for like a couple seconds.
And does she hit you? You said she hit you. Does she hit you in the face, fist, or open hand, or
Like open hand, sometimes it's fist, just
slaps
depends.
you?
Michelle, I have never hit you with a closed fist.
Oh,
Never.
Okay.
I've never seen that.
So do you slap
You're
her?
not home.
I have slapped her
You have like
when she
no
gets
seconds.
verbally abusive
You're like
with
not
me.
even home half the
I
time.
have slapped her in the face maybe twice.
Maybe twice. No.
Yes.
Okay, what's your objective when you slap her?
To shut her up.
So you a liar now?
And you never lie.
Okay,
supposed to be
hold
my
on.
mom.
Listen,
She's
if
gonna
you
sit here and lie to me? No,
listen, you guys want to bicker.
That is what we deal with.
Closed captioning provided by. Slapping your child is counterproductive to the resolution of conflict, in my opinion.
I understand that.
just me.
I totally understand that. I get so frustrated. I don't even know what more I can say. And I've slapped her. I have no excuse for it, but
Well, people usually get physical when they run out of socially acceptable ways to express themselves. So you run out of something to say, so
yeah.
you slap her.
Yes.
And is that usually right before she runs away? Does she usually run away after you do that?
No, she's not even telling the whole story here. She doesn't even run. You don't run away.
I haven't even
just
had
'cause
a
of
chance to
because you
tell the
guys fight.
story.
Michelle, you take off just whenever the wind hits you.
No.
Did you run away because he didn't give you $60?
Yeah.
Yeah. I took that out of hand.
Did you
I
not
did.
fake me out
I knew
and go
I
out
was
into the
in the wrong.
driveway telling me you were going to look for a pair of earbuds and then vanish?
Hell yeah, I did. But that's the thing. But that was like a long time ago when I was like
Well,
out
just
of it, man.
tell the
I
whole
was like,
story.
I was
Don't
like
sit there
out
and
of
blame it on her.
I'm not sitting
'cause
there and
it's
blaming it
violence.
on her.
That's exactly what you were just sitting there saying.
I would honestly say probably 9 times out of the 11 times you ran away, it was because you and I were fighting. It's always something else. Always. It's about boys. And that's it.
Look at this video for me for just a second.
Get the out of my room! I'm not talking to nobody. They need to get the out of my room before I punch somebody in the face. I don't need your stupid ass Wi-Fi. Stop recording me, bro. I'm about to hit you with this phone. You better shut it off.
Oh, so you a liar now, aren't we? Well, isn't that shocking?
Well, she just wants to join like you.
Isn't that shocking?
And you never lie.
No, but the whole thing is that
Okay,
she's supposed to
listen.
be my,
Hey,
no, she's supposed to be my mom.
Listen,
Is she gonna sit here and lie to me?
listen,
No,
you guys want to bicker. If you guys want to bicker, you don't need me for that.
Right.
Seriously, you can go home or back here for that. If you guys want to bicker, you don't need me for that.
That was your way.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that I did record her to show the show what we go through almost on a daily basis. That is what we deal with.
we don't go through that only on a daily basis.
It's close.
No.
We have a lot of good days in there.
Yeah, we do. But nobody cares about
We
that,
do.
right? That's what the show's all about, right?
Don't ask me. Could we play the video again?
Get the out of my room! I'm not talking to nobody. They need to get the out of my room before I punch somebody in the face. I don't need your stupid ass Wi-Fi. Stop recording me, bro. I'm about to hit you with this phone. You better shut it off.
Okay, now I would like for you to take me through those moments and tell me what you're thinking and feeling and how you feel about that as you watch it.
I think it's funny. I think it's funny. Looking at myself like that, like, I think it's funny. But, I don't know, I just want everybody, like, at that time, I just wanted everybody to leave me alone. I was tired of it. I didn't want nobody in my room, period. I just wanted everybody to get out of my room. That's all I wanted them to do, is just get out of my room. And they couldn't do that, so.
And tell me what's humorous about that.
Because I'm sitting there screaming to get out of my room, like, it's funny.
What about it's funny?
I don't know, just me. I think it's funny.
Do you think it's becoming to you? You think it's attractive?
No, I never said that.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
I just thought it was funny.
Well, after just 3 months of dating, Michelle and Paul say they are madly in love. Paul says he plans on marrying Michelle and that her parents better get used to having him around. So we'll talk about that after the break.
I strongly believe Michelle's parents think I'm a loser. I've been living here for the past 2 or 3 weeks in this car that sits in my parents' front yard. When Michelle ran away for 5 days this summer, I was the first person she called. We definitely took it to the next level. Her mom had the nerve to call me a rapist.
Closed captioning provided by
Michelle thinks that Paul is just the most perfect guy in the world, and she would just die for him.
I think my daughter thinks that she's in love with Paul, but she's too young to know what love is.
I want my parents and Paul to get along because he's the love of my life.
I want to strangle her.
When we're referring to Paul around our house, he's known as Dip Dumb.
I do plan on being with Paul forever. I don't know what I'd do without him.
Well, Jody and Mike say they have lost control of their 14-year-old habitual runaway daughter, Michelle. They claim she has a history of running away and dating older men, including her current 18-year-old, Paul. Now, Paul claims when he first met Michelle, she lied to him about her age. He says when he learned that she was only 14, he thought to himself, well, I'm already dating this girl and I love her, so I might as well keep doing it. Paul says whether Michelle's parents like it or not, he's going to be with her. Take a look.
Michelle is definitely the love of my life. She's my everything. I've been living here for the past 2 or 3 weeks in this car that sits in my parents' front yard. You can see the bad part when it rains, whatnot. There's no windows. I strongly believe Michelle's parents think I'm a loser. They have a desire to keep us as far away from each other as they can. When Michelle ran away for 5 days this summer, I was the first person she called. We got super drunk the first night. Michelle told me that she was about to turn 16. We definitely took it to the next level that night. She trusted me and she believed in me. Her mom had the nerve to call me a rapist, all over social media. Michelle's mother threatened to call the police on me for lying to her about not knowing where her daughter was. The police came and I jumped out the window. Hit one of the police officers who was trying to stop me from giving Michelle a hug or a kiss goodbye. Later, I was notified she was 14. I was a little heartbroken about her lying to me about her age, but then I realized she only did it because she wanted to be with me. And we just had fun, and I couldn't see myself cutting the relationship off, considering what we'd already accomplished together. I tried to explain to her mother she could be dating a gang member out running the streets, and instead she's with someone who loves her. The more Michelle's mother and father try to control what she does, the more she will defy her parents. I strongly believe they need to let Michelle have her freedom. I want to spend the rest of my living life with Michelle. I want to have children with Michelle and have a family. I have already bought her an engagement ring. I have not proposed. I'm waiting for the perfect time.
Well, as you just heard, Paul says he loves Michelle and plans on marrying her. Well, apparently there has been a development since that was taped, because I'm told last night by the hotel pool that you did pop the question. Correct?
Yes, sir.
You did ask her to marry you?
I didn't ask her to marry me, more or less. I proposed to have her be my girlfriend.
To what?
My girlfriend.
To be your girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
What was she before?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's what she says. She was my girlfriend, but I never, actually asked her to be my girlfriend.
God, that's what I said.
What?
That's what I said. I had that look.
So he asked you, what did you think he asked you?
I don't know what kind of question that is.
What did he say at the pool?
He just asked me to be his girlfriend. That was it. It was nothing like gigantic.
Is that the ring?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you said yes, I guess, since you're wearing the ring.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do plan, you want to get married?
I do want to get married with her. I want to spend the rest of my life with her.
Okay.
Stop shaking your head. It's so
Where
ignorant.
are you going to live? In the car?
It's so ignorant, though. Not for once, just sit there and not be ignorant.
Obviously, I don't stay in the car anymore. Me and my parents were having a problem as to why I was in the car. If I marry your daughter, we're not going to sleep in a car.
Paul.
Use your brain.
They just recorded this past weekend.
3 weeks ago.
No, this recording
point?
was done Sunday.
What's your point?
Today is Wednesday.
Your point is...
You were living in the car.
But your
For
point
3-4 days. Your point is what? You don't know me, you don't know anything.
You're just a loser, Paul.
Whoa.
You have no job. You have no car.
Okay,
You have no life.
hold
I
on.
have 2 vehicles. I work with my
That's
father.
one of the vehicles
Okay,
right
but
there.
where do you get your money? Where do you get your money? From your deadbeat husband.
Okay, hold on.
You're not even in it. Half the time you don't give a what I do.
Hold on. No, listen, we're not going to do this. Why are you dating a 14-year-old child?
We'd taken everything as far as it could be taken, then I find out her real age.
You do realize that it is a violation of the law.
I'm falling in love with the girl. Why break up with her?
Listen, everybody that I have on this show is a teaching tool. There are millions of people watching this. A lot of them have teenage daughters and sons, and you guys didn't invent conflict between teens and their parents. You may be perfecting it, but you didn't invent it. And I recognize that there are feelings here, but I want to try to figure out what's going on. I do have a few questions for you. Why are you dating a 14-year-old child?
When I had first met her, she falsely informed me her age. And after we had done things together and been talking for a while and she'd been staying with me, I had already figured we'd taken everything as far as it could be taken. Then I find out her real age, so I figure I'm falling in love with the girl. Why break up with her? Especially considering her parents were okay with us dating at first.
Right. And you do realize that it is a violation of the law.
Yes, sir.
And that it's a fourth-degree felony. And you said you also went out and got drunk, which means you were also plying her with alcohol, which is contributing to the delinquency of a minor, which is also a crime. So you're putting yourself in harm's way, which is something that I have sons, and so I'm wanting you to think about this, because I don't want you to be in trouble here. I want you to stop and think about what you're doing. She says you're a loser. I don't think anybody's a loser. I think you make choices that work and choices that don't work, and if you're making choices that aren't working, then I would want you to change those and make better choices. But I don't think it's fair to call you a loser, but I would want you to make some self-preservation and consider, as a father of sons, if you were my son, I would say, think about the consequences of your choices.
Definitely.
Fair? Is that a fair consideration?
That's more than fair, but as I've explained her mother and father before, I love the girl to death. The night she came over and we did drink alcohol, that was so she would open up to me and explain to me her problems, explain to me why she was running away from them.
Well, we have to take a break, but let me tell you, if you get the laws on you, I promise you, they don't care why you were drinking.
Right.
And no, seriously, and they don't care whether they approved it or whether they didn't.
You're right.
The law is the law, and whether they said it was okay or not wouldn't make any difference. And whether you were giving her alcohol so she would open up and tell you about her problems, they wouldn't consider that a legitimate therapeutic tool.
It was also a one-time thing. After then,
right? I understand, but really think about it.
Yeah,
Let's take a break. Mike
Yeah.
says Paul cursed him out and says he was this close to breaking Paul like a toothpick.
Do it.
Don't say that. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Mike had the audacity to step up on my porch and call me punk, bitch, a thug.
Paul called my wife a stupid bitch and then tried to fight me.
I called him fat.
I could break this guy in half. He is nothing but a toothpick.
I said, knock me out, Mike.
Closed captioning provided by... Well, we've run out of time today. Tomorrow, an explosive altercation between Mike and Paul, which got so heated that Mike said he was ready to end Paul's life. Also, Paul says he wants to take care of 14-year-old Michelle, but that might be a little difficult because right now he's calling a broken-down car with no windshield his home. All right, I want to thank all of my guests today. We'll see you next time.